Hello, another quick update video to my commission work. These are 4 more regiments of foot, pike and shot, Warlord pike and shot, of course. For customer Noel, I think this will be a total of 12 regiments when I finish these. And as you can see, I went through all the muskets first this time. Sorry about lighting, but you just go in there. I've got a well-established way of painting these now. So it's new different coat colours. Do those first, and then I'm going through the pike blocks. One thing when I started these, I found it, and that's the last one I do. I found it really difficult getting those individual 10 figures stuck down on the front of the frontal base. It was so fiddly, I just couldn't do it. Eventually I settled on the idea of rolling out a very thin sausage of blue tack, pressing it down hard onto the base, and then pressing each individual pikeman left to right into the blue tack. It gives you an opportunity to, with a very fine pointed file or tool, to kind of just move them about, reposition them, get all the pikes facing in the right direction, and then just flood the base with super glue. Once I texture them, of course, it all disappears under the texture. So that was, I know initially for me, that was a major problem. Musketeer is absolutely fine. I start now, everything gets black undercoat to begin with. I can just turn those round a bit. Everything gets a black undercoat to begin with. And then everything gets a dry brush of flat brown, as you can see there on the muskets. Everything gets a dry brush of flat brown, and then a more kind of sparing dry brush of what's it called, flat earth. So that puts some highlights on them, and effectively what that does, just to take out one of these spaces here, what that does is to kind of effectively, I just bring that up under the light, paint all the pikes, highlights the pikes, paints the muskets, highlight the muskets, and then I go through and gradually just sort of pick out the uniform colours. Oh yeah, one thing I was going to say was that even the dry brush over the pikeman's armour gives a very acceptable look. It actually looks very much like period rusted armour, but as you can see here, I've actually picked it up with a bit of steel with a bit of black ink in, just to kind of, I don't want to, I mean, I know that they would have been blackened or rusted, but it's nice to have a little bit of shine on these pikemen. It just kind of improves the look of them. I think from this one, you may be able to see, I don't know what that is on that pike. You can probably see how they were all positioned into the strip of blue tack, and then flooded with super glue, so they're well fixed. I don't know what that is on that pike there. I should take it off in a minute. But yeah, these are the 4. So just looking at another command strip. One there, around the back. I always tend to put officers in colours other than the standard common soldier's coat, so they have their own clothing, which is why you see a bit of contrast there with the officers slightly bit. This is the rear pike base of the second stand. So for these I tend to do a mix of the common soldier coat and those sort of flimsy sleeveless buff coats that some pikemen might have worn. Certainly in the sealed knot days, they were very useful worn under armour, because God, those back and breast blades could cause so much bruising. I know in my own case I had an incredible amount of bruising after my first push of Pike. I went home black and blue actually. I was in the London train bands, and we got flattened in a Pike push by Newcastle's regiment. There were some very big lads in Newcastle's Pike block, and I remember just being at one point lifted up off the floor. My feet weren't touching the ground. I was feeling like I couldn't breathe, and then it all went crashing down onto the ground, and I had about 2-3 people on top of me. I thought I was in pretty serious trouble, but it was great fun, and that's probably why I like the period so much, to be honest. So these are, I better stop rabbiting now, Warlord games, epic pike and shot, and no doubt when I return these to Noel by the end of the week, he'll send me another few sprues. I did lots of American Civil War stuff for him to begin with. So it's just one of my ongoing projects. I have 2-3 ongoing projects that just keep me painting nicely. And I enjoy doing these. So anyway, I better stop. 6.5 minutes. Thanks very much for watching. I'm sorry if I babbled a bit there, but you get the impression. Pike and shot. There we are. Cheers.